Hey everybody, it's the Friday Love message. I wanted to record a video. I made a couple notes, but I kind of wanted to do this unscripted. Today is my 5th wedding anniversary, and I just wanted to share a couple of things. I met my husband when I was 41 years old, and I had never been married before. And it was not an easy process to let him love me. I had spent decades of my life dancing around in different ideas of fear of relationships. And the reason this connects to eating is because when I met him, I knew the pattern of what I had done in the past. I would date somebody and then break up with them. And when I met John, I was just at the point where I'm like, I've got to figure out how to do something different. I don't want to keep repeating this pattern. And in the process of learning to really let him love me, there was a lot of stress in my body. I didn't know how to really cope with it or understand it or process it. And I gained some weight. And this is kind of interesting. I think that, at least in my mind, in my story of what I tell myself, that when we meet somebody, we usually feel really happy, et cetera, et cetera. And it wasn't that I didn't feel happy, because he was an amazing man. He is an amazing man. He's brilliant. He's funny. He knew how to be so kind and loving and giving, and just so mellow and chill and understanding of me and all the stuff that was going on in my head. And he was just good with all of it. He was just so good at loving me. And he is so good at loving me. And this was challenging for me to let in. I didn't know how to really let it in. And so I kind of dealt with my emotions by eating. And what I want to share, this kind of made me start to percolate about this topic today, because a couple of days ago I was listening to a podcast by one of my master coaches, Brooke Castillo, called The Capacity to Have. And in that podcast, she talks about being in the state where you can just receive, essentially. She was talking about people making more money as life coaches, and sometimes the habits are such that they'll spend the money, and they just it's strange to adjust to that new beingness of having more money. She also talked about how she did a very similar thing with her husband when she met him. She always wanted to have a great relationship with a great man. And I really resonated. It sounded just like my story when I heard it. She had a really tough time letting him love her because she didn't really know how. And one part of my story that was quite similar to her, well, a little bit similar to hers, was there was even a time with John where I had a breakup phone call with him, and I was just crying and sobbing, and I thought that I had broken up with him. Listen to that. I thought that I had broken up with him on the phone, and was just crying that night thinking, oh, it just happened again. I couldn't know. It just didn't work, and da 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 da. And John calls me the next day, and he did not even hear that I had broken up with him. I love this story because it's like, oh, he didn't let me break up with him. It didn't even register that I was breaking up with him. He was just like, oh, Candy being Candy. I love her, period. It didn't even like really register. And I was so thrilled that he called back that next day, because the night before I'd been beating myself up. Oh, another failed relationship. I, just broke up with another guy. And it was such a blessing that he just kept choosing to love me. We dated for 2 years, and in my culture, that's sometimes a long time. For some people, it's not. I thought it was perfect, but it was 2 years of me learning to let him love me, learning to really understand how that could be possible. And something that Brooke shared in her podcast really resonated with me is her husband, just like mine, really helped heal me just by choosing to love me. And it's almost bringing tears to my eyes. And I am so grateful for him and his example to just choose to love. Because through that power of choosing to love me, I learned to love me more. And I learned how to love. I learned how to choose to love instead of thinking that it happened to me. And I'm so grateful for this example. And also through this process, what we were able to create together. We both gained a bunch of weight after we got married, and mine was a lot. I mean, it was all stress eating for me. His may have been joy eating, I'm not sure. You can tell me that later, John. But mine was all stress eating and emotional eating. And what we've been able to create together in this partnership of just choosing love and being there for each other and just loving each other the way that we are, not making the other person wrong with the things they say or do, but just really honoring each other's experience of being human on this planet. That has been so rich, and that has been one of the biggest gifts in being able to figure out how to lose that weight and change my mind and change my neural pathways so that I know I'm never going to gain that weight back again. I am a different person who now knows how to choose and create love and choose to be love and choose to love unconditionally. And I'm also a person who has learned and has become that for my own body and my own brain. And I just wanted to send a big shout out. I don't know I'm trying to look at the camera here. Sorry if it looks like my eyes are all over the place, but I just wanted to share this with you and give a beautiful shout out to my sweet husband, John Danes Burgoyne, for teaching me how to love and for being one of the most amazing examples of love that I've seen on this planet. And I'm so grateful that God gave you to me and sent me to Seattle so that I could meet you. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you feel the power of the possibility of love and choosing love. Have a great day. I do love you. Bye-bye.